This episode of Ask Me Anything mentions suicide and talks about domestic violence. If you or anyone you know needs help, please find the contact numbers in the episode notes of this podcast. Hello, I am Paula Bennett and welcome to my New Zealand Herald podcast, Ask Me Anything. Now, one thing I've learned in life is it's never too late to learn something new. So on this podcast, I talk to people from all walks of life to hear about how they got to where they are and get some advice and guidance on some of life's biggest questions. Today, an incredible woman joins me on the podcast, Mea Motu, also known as the Nightmare. Mea is a professional boxer, the current IBO World Super Bantamweight champion. She's undefeated in her pro boxing career. She's an absolute inspiration, and I am so glad to have her here today. Hi, Mea.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited. Okay, we'll do a quick fire question. You can't really go to the pubs in West Auckland. We've both worked out with Westies because we don't really have them, which is really, no, it's ridiculous, but we'll get to that another time. But if you could go to a night or a night out or something like that, who would the celebrity be, or who would the person be that you'd like to spend your time with?
That's a good one, right?
Yeah, who's interesting? Or who would you like to ask questions to that you haven't had a chance? Oh, you must have some boxing heroes.
Oh, I was thinking just New Zealand, sorry.
Nah,
you're talking about worldwide.
Just dream.
Oh, Canelo Alvarez.
I don't know who that is.
He's a professional boxer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And why?
Oh, because of his boxing skills. It's just, he's my favourite fighter and he's just amazing in how he keeps all his basic boxing skills just real simple.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to leap straight into it because I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because it's not me, right?
Yeah.
The thought of someone punching me in the face or me punching them in the face, I just don't get it. But you love it, eh?
I love it.
Like, okay, so tell me what it is you love about boxing so much.
What I love about boxing, I find who I am, and I feel like everyone's silent and it's just me and my opponent in the ring. And I discover something new about myself every time I fight.
So even when there's all that chaos and noise going on around you, you're in a quiet zone in the middle of, what is a fierce competition that involves punching each other, but you go into a different zone. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I go into a different zone. I go into my silent zone of just me and finding who I am. Because I feel like every time I fight, there's something new about me, and I learn something new about me every time.
Is that, and do you mean that in the way of your ability to keep going, or, what is it, what are those types of things that you learn about yourself then in that zone?
Oh, I learn basic life skills being in that ring.
Really?
Yeah, how to survive.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, how to survive, but also how to be calm, how to be relaxed, and really look at not just in the ring, but how I attack my life.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Because you fought through, right? I mean, you won that championship, am I right, with a broken rib?
Yes.
I mean, I don't get that. How did you work through that pain? Because there must have been pain, right?
Oh, there was pain, but I can block it. And literally what goes in my head is like, nothing is as hard as giving birth.
Yeah.
And I think if our body can go give birth and we go through different hormones and challenges and pain and suffering mentally and physically, then I can handle it in the ring and I can handle that pain.
Yeah. In fact, does the pain in some level fuel you, or does it, can you find another place that keeps you going?
Yeah, I definitely find another place, and it's so hard to describe it because it's just like I switch off and I just go, okay, I can do this. And I just believe in myself.
Wow.
I find I switch from that pain and I turn it to belief.
Yeah.
And I just be like, you can do this no matter what.
I freaking love it. See, I don't get it,
yeah,
but I love people that are just so passionate and so good at what they do.
Yeah.
And that's you, right?
Yes, 100%.
But you came to it a bit, so you were boxing amateur young?
Yes.
It was in the family kind of thing. And then you didn't go pro until, 4 years ago?
Yes.
And am I right, have you had a baby between then and now?
Yes.
So while you've been a pro boxer, you've had a child?
Oh, not during pro, but when I started pro, I had a baby and she was only about 6 months.
See, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because as you say, with childbirth and what it does to us as women, to our bodies, even your ability physically and mentally to bounce back from that so quickly just absolutely astounds me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I even freak out at myself, like what I'm capable of doing. And I'm like, wow. But it always brings back to, I always go back to like, I gave birth, I pushed my children out, I can handle anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a good lesson for us all, right?
Yeah. It's like really amazing to see what our body, like I literally, giving birth really woke me up to know what our body is capable of doing. And we put our own roadblocks. That's what I realized. We make excuses and we put our own roadblocks to be like, okay, this is as far as I can go. Mm. But really, when in birth, we don't have a choice. You either want to push it out and handle the pain or they just cut you open. But I wanted to push it out.
Yeah.
And still had to handle it. And we suffer not just through the birth, but the whole duration of 9 months.
Yeah.
Which is, it's challenging.
Yeah, that physicality of it, is just what people don't get. Okay, I'm just going to go back to boxing and then we do need to talk about these 5 children. For those that are listening, 5. Yes, I did say 5. So let's go to the cancellation of your unification world title fight against Ali Scottney. So, I mean, because that was going to be a big one for you, right?
Oh, 100%.
So when is it going to happen?
Well, it was meant to happen definitely this year, last weekend, just been. I should have thought. But it looks like it's going to happen next year, early next year. And I know it's going to 100% is going to happen, but it's just when she's ready. We're waiting on her.
So we heard about what injury she's got?
She had a calf muscle injury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't sound like she's pushing through the pain, just saying.
Yeah. But I guess that for her, she's making sure she has to be 100%.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So she's being smart.
You're going to beat her.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
And so if she's going in with a bit of an injury, then, so she's just taking a bit of time. So does she have to fight you?
Yes.
Yeah.
She can't avoid me.
Because she holds the title, and then you have to defend your title.
Yes.
Right? You can't just sit, because, I could get a title and then just sit there for the next 50 years and just go, well, it's mine.
No, but I've been made mandatory, so I've worked hard to get to her.
Yeah.
I've worked my way up the ladder, and I've done everything properly. And so she can't turn me away or anything because I'm actually ranked higher than her now because I fought and I moved up with the rankings. So I'm ranked higher than her, but I'm made mandatory and she has to fight me.
Where's she from?
She's from England.
Yeah. And so what does this fight mean to you?
Oh, this fight means everything. It's not just for me, but it's for us here, for our next generation, our kids, and for our people here in New Zealand to showcase that we have greatness here and that if we set our mind to it, we can actually do it. So I want to prove to our kids just in a small little country of New Zealand, and we don't have all the facilities like they do overseas, that we can do it in our own backyard. And we produce champions.
You're a legend. You're absolutely amazing. And it just absolutely astounds me. So what do you do in the meantime? Do you take other fights? How do you keep your grit? How do you keep the fierceness? How do you keep the fitness up?
So I'm still training, still keeping active and still working hard in the gym. Not as hard as what I'm normally doing because I just tape it down a little bit just to also make sure I'm looking after myself and I don't burn myself out. And just wait for her to call the date. We're waiting for them to call the date. Once she calls the date, then we'll lock in our training camp and we'll start hard training again.
God, it's amazing. Okay, so how on earth do you juggle training, life and everything else and 5 kids? So we're aged from, 3 or 4?
4 years old.
4, that's right.
To 17 is my oldest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot, is it? So how are you just going to have to be organised, aren't you?
I have to make myself organised. Sometimes it's challenging, but I'm lucky I've got lots of support. So I have lots of family support and also my gym supports me. So if it comes to a hard time where I've got no support for my kids, I bring them to training and they come along with me.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Yeah. And older ones, can you see the fighting in them? Do you think they might? No.
No, there's no fighting in older ones.
I'm getting a shake in the head there.
No way. Definitely my oldest boy, he's a professional lawn bowler. So he's got no passion for boxing. He's only got passion for bowls.
I love that. But
Yeah.
I don't really, well, I do care what you're into, but you know what I mean? Like if you've got a passion for something,
Yeah.
and it turns a light on in your eyes, then just people that then dedicate themselves to it and go for it.
Oh, 100%.
So where will he end up? What will he do with it?
So he wants to be a professional bowler, and he's already made the New Zealand team, and he's heading off to Melbourne next month.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's doing really well.
Oh, I just think that's outstanding. So here you are, a woman who's won a title with a broken rib, who's fought with a dislocated shoulder, who is, potentially one of the toughest women, that I'm sitting opposite. And yet Celebrity Treasure Island took you out.
Oh, yes, I know. That's exactly what my daughter said to me.
Really?
Yes. So she's like, oh, wow. She's like, oh, Celebrity Treasure Island took you out, but boxing couldn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was my health. I got really sick. I don't do too well with the cold, and especially because I didn't have my medicine and my medication, I deteriorated. And because I had pneumonia at the same time.
Oh, no. Why
Yeah.
didn't you have your medicine and medications?
Because they check us, they check our bags.
You're not
and
allowed to take it.
I thought we weren't allowed our medication, and I thought I gave them the list of what I have.
Yeah.
And I thought that they would bring it because I thought I was sticking to the rules,
Yeah.
I'm real if you give me the rules, I'll stick to the rules. And I don't like breaking any rules. So I stuck to the protocol. They searched my bags and everything. And so I was thinking, okay, the medics will know my history and everything, and thinking that they would have all the medicine, but no, they didn't.
And they sort of said on the program, because you don't have body fat, right? Because you're just so extremely fit, that unlike someone like me who could, live in the cold for a long time with my extra layers, you would feel it more. So you had pneumonia, you were unwell, you didn't have your medications, and then you would have been driving yourself hard, I imagine, through that. And it just got you, right?
It hit me really quick, but it took a couple of days because I was sick 5 days ago, and I told the medics, and they were but also being poor diet.
Yeah.
So that was even hard. And because I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables, so to not have any fruit or anything, it was completely different. And also getting our own water and all that was a challenge. So I drink a lot of water and my body wasn't getting that. And then, but what shut me down was that we stood in the cold for about 2 to 3 hours, and it was pouring with rain, and we were saturated wet. And because they have to transport us to our cabins, so they transported the first team, and then we were last. So I was still in the freezing cold.
You were extra time in the freezing cold.
So we were extra time in the cold.
It's probably not good for someone who's got pneumonia,
Yes.
to be fair.
And I didn't realize what happened because I was like, nah, I'm fine. And I didn't realize they were taking me out. Because I was like, nah, don't take me, I'm fine. Yeah. And they're like, no, we got to warm you up. And they didn't have any place to keep me warm. So they had to take me off the island just to look after me. But
Did you enjoy it?
Nice.
Would you do it? Because you weren't that keen to start with, and it was your coach and that went step outside your comfort zone. Is that right?
I wasn't keen to do it because I was fighting.
Yeah.
And so what also didn't work out is because I was training at 4:30 in the morning in the freezing cold, bare feet, which I shouldn't have done, and I was doing it every morning and every night. So that's why I wasn't getting better either. But 100% I'll do it again. And next time I won't do it with a fight.
And did your kids think you should do it? Did they think yes? Or?
Oh, they didn't even know.
No, you're a rule follower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
Wow.
It wasn't until I got back and they were like, why is Mum in the hospital?
But you wouldn't mind a bit of the hardship though, eh? But see, I just don't get it. So as you say, you're not even given your water, you've got to go and get that. You don't get your fruit and veggies, you don't get a comfortable bed.
No.
It's cold, but you would. Why? Because of the challenge.
Oh, I love the challenge, and I love taking myself to a whole nother uncomfortable zone. And I know, I've never been through that situation. And I learned something out of that. And so the good thing is I learned, don't have a fight going into those type of things.
Yeah.
And look after your health a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to come back really soon and we're going to talk more about you personally and your journey to get to where you are, and certainly a history of domestic violence in there and everything else. And I think it's just so important for people to hear that, because we all know someone.
Yes.
Yeah? And so we've got to keep learning those lessons. So look, let's take that break now and we'll be back really shortly. Welcome back, everybody. I am joined by Mea Motu, also known as Nightmare, and she is a professional boxer and our IBO World Super Bantamweight Champion. I actually feel like I could have been one of those people that, the broadcasters, what are they? Mea Motu, professional boxer.
Oh, the presenters.
Yeah, quite like that. Your path to the top hasn't been plain sailing, right? Like, I mean, man, you moved to Auckland from Northland.
Yes.
Northland's in your heart. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my home.
It is amazing the way.
It is beautiful.
My grandmother, rest in peace, she always used to say, your soul gets renewed when you get past whangarei.
Yes, it does. That's so true.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and I think it's absolutely true as well. There's just something that kind of, it's a breath, eh?
You know, like everything goes away.
Yeah. But when you were relative, how old were you when you moved to Auckland?
About 12 years old.
Yeah, that's a tricky time as well, isn't it?
Yes. You're going into your teenage. You're just about to transform into your teenage.
And you're a baby and yet you think you're older and you're confused and friends mean everything.
Yes.
And you're taken out of that place in your soul and moved to stinky Auckland.
Yeah. And everything's so big and flash.
Yeah.
It's out of my comfort zone.
And scary. And I mean, because there's kids up in Northland that haven't even been to whangarei.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, people don't know that. Like we all think that everyone's done everything.
No.
But the reality is it can be beautifully isolating, I want to say. You know,
and that's how I felt.
Yeah.
You know, before I left home, like I felt like I had seen the world.
Yeah.
Like home is so, like it seemed so big.
So you were quite a green, naive, moving to the big smoke, yeah? Struggling, trying to find your groove and everything else. And I presume that with your troubles at home, you know, was that kind of testing for you?
I didn't really have trouble at home. Like I was brought up with really great parents and aunties and uncles, you know, and great cousins. It wasn't until I hit my teenagers, then that's when like my dad drifted away and everything started to fall apart.
Yeah.
And so it got more challenging.
You got married really young, eh? So
really young.
Did you marry your first boyfriend?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I was brought up in a faith background.
Yeah.
And I'm very strong in faith. And so I always stuck to that principle and I always respected and honoured my mum's principles of that and her faith because, you know, she's the mother and stick to the rules. So that's how I saw it. And that's all I knew, really.
So you met him, thought you were in love?
Oh, 100%. I thought I was love and I just wanted to grow up real fast. I was looking for that male attention because my dad had walked out. And so, and also I lost my papa.
Yeah.
And so that was hard. So I felt like all the males in my life had walked out and the ones that I loved dearly, my dad was like my best friend. And so for him to go and be taken away by another woman, it was just really hard. And I wanted attention, but I was seeking for that male attention.
Yeah.
And so I just found it in my boyfriend. He was the next thing.
Yeah.
And I was desperate for a male and he was the male that I relied on and depend on.
And you got married, right?
I got married. I respected what my mum said. Didn't want to get married. I hated it, yes. I hated that decision. I fought it, but
wow.
I had no choice.
And then how quickly did you have children?
A year later. Oh, no. When I got married, I had my son already.
Oh, okay.
So for me, it was sinning.
You would have had your baby at 16, 17 then?
17 when I had my son.
Yeah, I was 17 when I had my daughter.
And then straight away I had to get married within like a couple of weeks because it was a sin in my mum's eyes.
Okay, so you're married, you're thinking, well, at least I've got a male that loves me. I'm in a loving relationship. And then it didn't go that way though, did it?
No.
So what happened? I mean, do you feel like it was gradual or because he got quite violent?
Yes.
Yeah. So was it gradual? Could you see it happening?
He slowly broke me down mentally first. So he started controlling me first and I didn't take any notice. I was just like, oh, okay. And I started listening and obeying. And it just, because every time I'd snap back and then he would retaliate yelling at me and I couldn't understand because I was never raised like that. So I was like, whoa, what's this? And it was very confusing. So he pulled me away from my family and I started living with his family. It was normalized to them.
Yeah.
And so his dad would abuse his siblings and abused the mother and all that, and the aunties and everyone around us. And so he started following, and then because his dad would be like, don't let her answer you back, show her what you're made of. And so he would retaliate with violence. Yeah. And I was like, what the heck happened? I was so confused. I was so lost because I've never been hit in my life. I've only had a smack on the hand by my parents, but I've never been hit to the face, only in boxing, but it was like actual fists. And so I was stunned. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should cry or show emotion. And I kind of was like, what was that for? And he was like, you need it, you deserve it. I shouldn't answer back. I should respect him. And I was like, okay. So I went to go run away and like hid in my own little corner, and then I went to go reach out to a friend, and she just called me an idiot. So as soon as I heard those words, I shut down.
You just shut down.
And I hid.
We're going to keep talking about this journey, but I think because, this is an advice segment, and I think this is one that's really important because we do all know someone.
Yes.
And we might pretend we don't.
Yeah.
Or we might choose to, but we actually do. So what could have a friend or a relation have done at that point for you differently that might have given you different choices?
I just wanted her to say, are you okay? I'm here for you. That's all I wanted. I was desperate for that because, having your dad walk out and stuff, you're desperate for someone just to say you're okay. I've got you.
Yeah.
You just want someone to hold you.
Yeah.
And for her to call you an idiot, you feel so ashamed.
Well, you've just been victimised again.
Yeah.
Right? So you're being victimised. You started believing you are an idiot because he's been telling you and physically hurting you enough that you start believing it. And then the people that that you reach out to does the same thing.
Yeah. And so they're not actually abusing me physically, but they're abusing me emotionally.
Yeah.
And so that was more hurtful too.
Yeah.
So I was shut down both ways.
So, because for you to have reached out was incredibly brave, right?
Yes.
So if you are, I always call it someone, we've all got to be someone, it's different points, right? So if you're the chosen someone, then we need to take a breath, we need to listen, we need to reach out with love and aroha.
Yes.
What about fixing the problem? Because sometimes you can't. I don't mean that rudely, but you know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to listen, do you?
Yeah. All we want is just, when I was stuck in that, I just wanted someone to listen to me and hold me and give me the courage. Give me courage. Just give me courage so I can build confidence to speak. Because when you're stuck in there, all you can see is just the hurt and pain, and you just need someone to relieve that hurt and pain. And once that hurt and pain's relieved, then you're building the confidence to speak up. But if you're going to keep shutting down, you're silencing me more.
Yeah.
And I'm living in that fear and shame.
Yeah. So it kept kind of escalating, and you're having babies.
Yes.
Right? And I mean, have you tried to talk to family and police and, or is he just so mentally shut you down that you feel like you can't see a way out?
So I did speak to family, and I did like my uncles and stuff, and like just distant family, and I did speak to police and stuff, and I reached out, tried to get him arrested and stuff, but I never won that. So like my family would get hurt by the gang because he comes from a gang family. Like my uncle tried to help me so many times. He got beaten up, and then he got put in the cells. Like he was so confused because he was reaching out to the police's help. But they know the system.
Yeah.
The gangs know the system, and he knew the system. And so when I did report him to the police, he would be like, okay, I'll see you out in 24 hours. Don't worry, I'm coming for you. And I'd be like, what? No, you're getting locked up.
Yeah.
Once it went to court, he was innocent because his words were, oh no, how do you know it was me? There's no proof that it was me.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he would say, oh, that's from boxing. She trains boxing. How do you know that was me?
Yeah. She's a liar.
Yeah. So I was always made out like I was a liar and making false accusations against him. So I would always lose when it went to court.
But man, you were brave to do that.
Yeah.
Like really brave. Like one young woman that I worked with and helped, and, you know, he did get locked up, and he would literally, she would wake up and a gang member would be standing at the end of her bed at 2 a.m, just saying, we're watching you.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just intimidation to let her know that, you know, and then at one stage they beat up the petrol attendant.
Yes.
Because they were watching her all the time and she was too flirty with him.
And that's why I was so scared to tell my family, because I didn't want my family getting hurt, because he would make threats like that. And it's the same, like I'd wake up in the morning with like a crowbar coming to my body and I'd be half asleep.
Yeah.
Because he would always find a way out, because once I went to court, he was like, you can take it to the police, but he was like, good luck, see you in court. I would always get out, and he always got out because he was never guilty.
Wow.
So it was hard.
You say that your kids saved you, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And was that because you had not, so you had a reason to get out? Because they do give you an amazing strength, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Those kids.
And like, I was lucky that my oldest son didn't really witness much, because I quickly gave him to my aunties. And I just told them, like, please just look after him. He saw me get hit by a car and run over. And so that was traumatizing. But my daughter was my saving grace, my second child. She's witnessed so much. She's saved me so many times. I've been drowned. I've had my head to the toilet, everything. She's watched me be stabbed. And she saved me so many times. And it was her. The last one was when she wanted to risk her life to save me. And that was the turning point for me.
And how did she do that?
She jumped in front of it. She jumped in front of the knife. She grabbed his hand, and the knife just missed me.
God.
It hit me, but like it missed my chest and stuff.
She was young, eh? Really?
She was about 7, 8. God. She was only young. I'll never forget the day. It was Waitangi.
Yeah.
And it was her that saved my life. But the strength and courage and that fairness that my daughter carried, I thought, why can't I carry that? And that was the day that I built the courage and strength, was when I saw her trying to save me, because she wanted to keep me alive, because she wanted me to be there for her siblings, for her 2 brothers.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way. I'm not doing this to my daughter. She don't deserve this.
No.
And so I built the courage and stood up to them, and I stopped living in fear. I still was scared of him, but
of course,
I built the guts to be like, no, let's go. I'll take you to court, and I don't care how long it's going to keep.
And so where did you go?
I went to my family.
Yeah. Okay.
And I slowly started breaking down and telling them little things, but I didn't tell them the full depth. I only told them little bits. And they kind of knew. And so they were like, they helped me, support me, and sheltered me. But at the same time, he was still coming. He got arrested, went to prison, but still tormented me even in prison.
Yeah.
I had his friends and all that come to my house, threaten me. I would be walking on the street with my kids and they'll threaten me because they just didn't want me to narc or snitch, is what they call it.
Yeah.
But I refused. I was like, no, I'm fighting you.
Yeah.
And, you know, they kept trying to challenge me. It took me years to keep fighting against them. And it wasn't until I found boxing.
Wow.
Walked into my coach's gym, Peach Boxing.
Yeah.
It changed that day.
So how long ago would you say that you got out of that relationship, if you like?
So I got out of the relationship. He had been tormenting me for a good 4-5 years, tormenting me, and I had got out of it ages ago. But he still kept torturing me and traumatizing me, and still, even to this day, just at the beginning of the year when he got released, because he thought we were still together, he followed me and stalked me.
God, it's just
so it never
it's just
ends.
it's just hard to comprehend, eh? And it's relentless for you.
They're really, I thought it was over after so many years, but just at the beginning of the year, he stalked me, followed me, and knew my whole routine.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, because I stopped looking over my shoulder. And I was like, wow, he's still stalking me and he still believes we're still together.
So it is incredible that you're speaking out You know, in the context of that,
Yeah.
you know, you sort of talk about courage and strength. I'd argue you've had it your whole life. But it is particularly courageous that you're speaking out when you've had an incident with him as recently as this year.
Yeah.
So why are you speaking out?
Because I'm sick of seeing our people suffer, you know, and I've seen so many women and males commit suicide or just give up. And they've got children and they leave them behind and the cycle follows.
Yeah.
And it carries on and it gets passed on because it becomes a normalized behavior. And I'm tired of it. And I don't want that for my kids. I don't want my daughter or my son following what I went through.
Yeah.
And so if I want to change the generation, I need to speak up.
Yeah.
And I need to change that cycle and making a difference. I want to support our kids because our kids are seeing this. What hurts me the most is that my kids had to witness what I went through. And the pain that they had to carry watching their mother get hurt is quite traumatizing. And I'm lucky that I'm in the stable position to support them and guide them and give them enough love and support to change the narrative for them. But for the kids that are actually going through it and witnessing their mother or their father getting abused is traumatizing. And that marks them for life.
And we have to change the cycle, right?
And
I know that's horrible, you know, like cliche-ish, but, you know, you were saying about his family and his whānau, and that's what he's grown up with and it's what he's seen.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
Yeah.
And that's all he's known.
Yeah.
It's a normalized behavior. And that's why it's coming. It's like I've seen so many kids just even now, our kids are out there already abusing each other. And they're abusing the parents as well because it's a normalized behavior.
Yeah.
And I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, our poor kids shouldn't be going through this. But it's because what they're seeing and witnessing. It's not their fault. It's the environment they're in. And because us women or males don't have the courage because we're ashamed of how society is going to view us and how people in the family are going to look at us.
Yeah.
Now, the biggest thing is, what I've learned is that we're too scared to tell our family because we don't want the outer side of the family to look upon us and look down on us and look at us at a negative light, like, oh, that family's you know, they get abused and stuff. And that's why we keep it silent.
Yeah, it's how they silence you, with shame.
With shame.
Yeah.
And because we're so ashamed, we're too scared. Like, oh no, but that's uncle. We don't want to tell uncle's abusing auntie, so we better stay quiet.
Yeah.
And that's why our kids are staying quiet. And they shouldn't have to carry that.
No, they shouldn't.
And so that's why I'm like, no. Even if it's happening, because it's happening in families. Families need to speak up.
Yeah.
Stop living in that shame. And you're a coward if you're going to sit there and watch it. Even if it's your own.
I think as well, Mea, what you are is a really important, you know, you're a world champion, right? But then, so, you know, there's no way that for all that's happened to you that it's left you a victim for the rest of your life.
Oh, no.
For those women out there at the moment that are trying to think about how they're going to save their babies and themselves, you know, it can feel like you're going to be a victim forever. And, you know, you've got a story to tell that says that there actually is a pathway out.
Yes, there
and
is.
the relationship that you've got with your own babies, with your own children.
And you can make a change.
Yeah. And the fact that, you know, you're so incredibly, you know, incredible at what you do. In fact, you know, world best. But, you know, in that context, I think there's a really strong message out there for, you know, the mums and some dads as well,
Yes.
that, you know, there is something and there is a path, you know, to finding your own level of fulfillment. And, because it's scary,
Yeah, and like there's no shame of going through struggle either, because like a lot of it can be you don't want to speak about. The reason why we get so violent as well is because we're depressed because we can't put food on the table, or we can't even get it. We don't feel successful because we don't have a job, you know. So I weigh all that stuff up as well, and a lot of that why our men or women are so violent is because there's not just because of what in the you know, their home, but and what they've witnessed, but it happens when they're failing, and they feel like they're not good enough and they're hopeless, so they stress it out and take it out on the people they love.
Yeah, they do. I do want to touch on, again, just that kind of how we can help. You know, certainly from my perspective, I had a friend, I suspected something, I just kept listening, I kept asking, and it finally, you know, got to the point where she said, yeah, I am being physically hurt and I want to leave. So she came and stayed. 2 days later, she went back, you know, and I let her go with love. Do you know what I mean? Like, no judgment. I'm here again. You know, like, let's have coffee tomorrow. It's your choice. They sort of say sometimes it can take 7 times to leave. Yeah, it took her 5. You know, and I just, I share that with people because we can be so quick to judge.
Yeah.
You know, and why didn't you leave and why can't you? And it's your, you know, like if you're willing to put up with it, well, that sounds like more your problem. But it's just the psychological damage it's doing. It's just insane, that lack of self-esteem.
Yes, it's the trauma.
Yeah.
It's the trauma. And so they've held that and it's captivated and it's built in you and you're so scared. So when you do leave, as soon as you hear their voice, you're scared. And you run back.
Yeah.
Because you think that's the only way you stay safe. Because if you keep running, you're only going to get beaten up even more.
Yeah.
Or they're going to find someone else to hurt. So it's that fear of, it's the fear of why they keep going back. And it's all they know. Because when you're being stuck in it for like 8 years, 5 years, that's all you know. And so it becomes your new normal.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
And when you try to get out of it.
It's exhausting. Sorry to interrupt you.
It is.
But when you're in fight mode, which is quite different than the fight mode you're in now.
Yeah.
But when you're in fight for your own daily survival mode, it must be exhausting. Looking for signs, waiting, not knowing what could happen to you, that you're going to be half asleep and a crowbar bloody whacked across you. I mean, that is mentally as well as obviously just exhausting.
It is, because you're constantly, even like, I was too scared to go to the shops and stuff because I would be scared, like, where's he going to pop out?
Yeah.
And I would even check my car, like my tyres, because if it's been marked, I know, oh, okay, they've found my car. Simple things like that. Or mark my letterbox.
Yeah.
They know where I live now.
Yeah.
It's like simple little things, and I'm constantly living in the shadow, like looking over my head and like being like, oh my gosh, where are they?
Yeah.
He's here, he's coming. So you just feel safer when you're with them because you're just like, you're not getting tormented or traumatized when you're away from it.
Yeah.
When you're trying to escape, there's so much demons going in your head.
So, I mean, you've said that you've forgiven your ex-husband.
Yes.
Man, I find, you're just an enigma to me. You're fascinating. So how did you find that forgiveness?
It all started with my son, my middle child. As you know, he's the youngest out of the 3 to my ex.
Yeah.
You know, he was in a very bad state. He's 11 now, but at 9 years old, he wanted to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And he was in a very dark place. He didn't want to be alive because he blamed himself for what I had been through, but also he wanted to speak to his father, and he didn't know how to speak to him because if he spoke to him, he felt like he was letting me down.
Yeah, betraying you, right.
And so he didn't know what side to take, but he was desperate for a dad. And so when I heard that, it broke my heart. And I didn't want to bury my baby.
No.
That's one thing. And his mental health was the most important thing to me. I didn't want my son feeling what I went through.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to change. I had so much hate and guilt, like so much hate and resentment to him, that I had to change and look at him. He's still the father. He's still the father. He gave me this beautiful boy.
Yeah.
He's my blessing. So I have to separate that pain between me and him. It only stays between me and him, not my kids. And don't stop my children from speaking to their father. Allow them to make their decisions, because I didn't realize I was causing more pain. And then I found out my other 2 were suffering too because they were hurt. But they were always going to choose mum because they wanted to protect me.
Yeah.
But they were hurting and suffering too because they want to know their dad. And because I made the decision because it was what I wanted for them and not what they wanted. And so I changed that. And when I saw what they wanted, it was actually good. I started realizing that I'm controlling them. And I'm just being a narcissist at the same time. I'm being him. And so I was like, wow, I can't do that to my children. I've got to allow them to make their decision. And I didn't realize I was already teaching them controlling, how to be narcissistic, and I didn't want them to be like him. And so I changed it, and slowly, it was the hardest thing I ever done was talk to him and be like, you need to have a relationship with your kids.
Yeah.
And I said, all I want is an apology. I want an apology for all you've done. That's all I want. And let's get on and let's make a relationship for your children. And so he gave me an apology, and that's all I wanted to hear. And I said, I don't want to be hurt anymore. And you're not going to hurt me anymore. Because I said, I'll take you down. Yeah. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
And so he built a relationship with his kids. He spoke to them on the phone all the time. And I allowed my children to figure it out, not me control them.
Yeah.
I stepped back and I would listen or allow someone to listen and observe the speaking because I didn't want silly stuff spoken to my children. And so it was always supervised. And my kids started figuring out who he really was. And my daughter started figuring out, she was like, oh, now I understand. Yeah. And so I allowed them to figure it out.
But they needed to go through that themselves.
They needed to go through it. Yes.
Yeah.
And it made my children stronger, but also it gave them peace. Because then I showed them I had to show them how to be a mother and also how to be kind and gentle, and that through all the pain and suffering, I still got kindness in my heart. And so I had to show that because I don't want to show evil to my children.
And what is, for me, also remarkable is that, even through, this time that we've spent together and you telling this story that is quite frankly horrific and something that most of us can't even imagine living in a day, you actually haven't been running him down. You've been telling the truth and you've been telling the story, but not in being absolutely disparaging to him, which is, I find remarkable when you've been through as much hurt as you have.
Well, the reason why I don't run him down is because he's my kid's father. Yeah. And so if I'm going to run him down, I'm running my children down because that insults them.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing you want to hear is, oh, your dad's this and this. I never ever spoke to my kids like that because I'm already setting them up. If I talk to them like that, then I'm already telling them their father's a monster when I should be allowing them to grow and teach them how to deal with their own emotions and coping mechanisms. I'm not teaching them if I tell them.
No, I've got stepchildren, and we have the saying in our family that we don't do halves. Yes. So you don't have half siblings. You don't have, it's kind of the Māori way. It's like, no, we don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you're my sister, or you're my brother, or you're my, you're my child. My stepdaughter's my baby. It doesn't take away from her own mother, but I get to choose the rules in my house.
Yes.
And that is kindness and respect.
Yes.
Because that's their mum.
And amazing you say that because my son, like my 3 oldest, they have 2 siblings that have got different dads. And, they went to kura. My daughter just started kura and they were like, oh, is that your half sister? He goes, no, that's my full sister. Yeah. And they were like, but different. You see people but different last name. And he's like, no, that's my full sister. Don't you dare. Yeah. My son's like, no.
Just tell him now. He just needs to go, I don't do anything but halves.
Yeah, well, he just says, no, it's my full sister.
Hey, to end this, like you're an ambassador for I Am Hope, right? Thank you for giving back. Because, we've got to, right? We've got to stand up and we've got to be counted for and do our things. And I genuinely also just want to say thank you for, putting yourself out there and telling your story because there'll be a lot of people that will get strength from it and it's pretty incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I normally ask at this point is what is some of the best advice you've ever had, but I feel like in this I've had some of the best advice I've ever been given, which is, you can find strength and you can equally sort of reach out and get the help that you need and you can find forgiveness.
Oh, 100%.
So that's certainly what I've taken from you.
What I have to say is just inspire the next generation. We get so fixated in ourselves. Don't forget what's behind you. We've got our kids look up to us. Where, people say, but they look up to the role model, like celebrities. But our children, we're us parents, we're our children's greatest role models. And so we need to lead by example. So how we present ourselves and how we put ourselves out into that world, our kids are watching us 10 times even better than what the other kids are watching. So lead by example, because there's greatness right in front of us. And that's what we neglect. And us as people, for every single person out there, you are great. There's greatness in you. You're staring right at it. By showing up every day is greatness. That is true greatness. You don't need a trophy or someone to tell you you're great. Showing up is great. That is greatness.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Mea Motu, can you please just keep going forward and conquering the world? That'd be quite nice for us. We can continue to be proud of you in your boxing career and what you're doing there, but quite genuinely keep going forward and looking after our babies and reminding us all that that's who we put at number one. So all the best in getting that Ellie Scotney fight back. And that's it, everyone, for another episode of Ask Me Anything. I'm getting a bit emotional now because, like it's been one of those ones. But if you've enjoyed this episode, please follow Ask Me Anything on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure you check out some of our past fabulous guests while you're there. Go and check Mea out on Celebrity Island if you want. Make sure that you tune in for the next fight because we've got to keep supporting her. I'll be back next Sunday with a fabulous guest. I'm Paula Bennett. Ask Me Anything. Goodbye.